The morning of the 19th of August began as normal. John went out early, around 7:30 a.m., to take his wife into work at the hospital in Exeter. On his way home, he stopped at GP surgery as he was suffering from a sore throat. Then he was back home at 10 a.m. to make sure the two girls were up before making breakfast. Afterwards, the girls went out to get sweets. Tanya was preparing to go on holiday with her birth father to Cornwall, just across the border from Devon. So at 12:20 p.m., John drove Tanya and her boyfriend to Exeter to catch her coach. Before taking Tanya to the coach station, he offered to take Genette with them, but she didn't want to come. He left her sitting on the lawn with her puzzle books as he pulled away. He would never see her again. After dropping off Tanya, John drove to collect Violet from work. They went shopping in Exeter and stopped at Dinkle's department store, where he returned a broken plate. Genette would be working that afternoon as a relief papergirl. Sometime after 2 p.m., Genette picked up her blue Kalkoff bike and headed out of her cottage. She cycled along Withen Lane towards the A3052. She stopped at White Horse Inn to collect the Express and Echo newspapers from the delivery van and headed back the way she had come, delivering the newspapers as she went. Since it was the last day of the week, she collected payment from customers as she went, storing the coins in her little purse. By 3:15 p.m., she had traveled about 2/3 of the way, delivering 40 newspapers, whereupon she happened upon two friends, Tracy Pratt and Margaret Heavey. They were meandering along Withen Lane and stopped at that little bridge that went over the river. Genette dismounted her bike and the girls chatted and decided to walk towards Aylesbeare together. She pushed her bike up a small incline as it was easier than pedaling uphill. The two girls were walking behind. After taking time out with her friends for a few minutes, she had to get on with her route. So she climbed back on her bike and cycled off into the distance, leaving her friends reading one of the newspapers. She was in sight of the girls after taking off for about 50 meters until she got around a bend. This was the last time she was seen. Between 5 to 10 minutes later, Tracy and Maggie walked round the bend in Withen Lane, only to find her abandoned bicycle. It was on its side, the wheels still spinning, her newspapers lay around, and even her purse of customers' payments remained on her bike. The girls looked about themselves, over hedgerows, etc., and found no Genette. They began yelling for Genette, but heard nothing. This was odd, as they had just been speaking. It was like she'd vanished. All that was left was her bike and whatever was left in her basket. They decided to check at her house, so they picked up the bike, with Maggie riding it. On the way back, they came across Genette's 16-year-old boyfriend, Tony Hammond, and the regular paperboy, John Bathard. Both boys joined in the search. When Maggie arrived at Genette's house, she was met by Genette Tate. She asked if Genette was home, which was met with bemusement by her father, as he thought she was out delivering the newspapers. When Maggie informed John that Genette was missing, he changed his mood to moderate concern. This was out of the ordinary, but surely there'd be a logical explanation. He put his shoes on and accompanied Maggie to Genette's last known destination. They shouted her name, looking everywhere, but no one responded. As the evening set in, Violet, who had come home from work with John Tate, suggested they inform the police, and John agreed. It was such a small village, and there really wasn't many places she could have been. They called the police around 5 p.m., and John went to Aylesbeare police and explained how Genette had not been seen for several hours. He was put through to the Exeter police headquarters. Police mobilized quickly, releasing dogs, and a helicopter went into air. Time was of the essence, as the first 24 hours of missing children is crucial, and they had lost hours. As details were released, they described her as being boyish, 5 feet tall, with brown hair, suntanned, wearing a white t-shirt with her name embroidered on it in red letters on the left shoulder, brown trousers, and white plimsolls.